Whether you're in your prime or somewhere past it, here's something most folks never hear from their doctor. Your penis isn't just an organ, it's part of a muscular system. And just like your biceps or your calves, it needs regular use to stay strong. When that erectile tissue doesn't get worked, it loses elasticity over the years. The result? Weaker erections, less stamina, and a real hit to your confidence in the bedroom. But I've got good news for you today. With the right approach, you can stop this process in its tracks, and in many cases, actually reverse it. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Dr. Grace Holloway, board-certified urologist, and I've spent more than 2 decades right here in the States helping men reclaim their vitality and confidence. Today, I'm walking you through a science-backed plan, step by step, to take your penis to the gym. That's right, we're going to train it the way you'd train any other muscle, so the tissue stays healthy, well circulated, and performing the way you want it to. Now, before we dive into the how, let me give you a quick medical breakdown of why this works. The corpora cavernosa, those are the 2 spongy chambers inside your penis, are made up of smooth muscle cells and blood vessels, all controlled by androgens like testosterone. When they're regularly filled with oxygen-rich blood, the tissue stays elastic and strong. But when that doesn't happen often enough, fibrous tissue starts to build up, elasticity drops off, and erectile problems become a regular occurrence. Studies out of major American medical centers show that men over 60 who actively train their erectile tissue suffer significantly less from erectile dysfunction than those who don't. Hey, real quick before we go deeper, if you're finding this video helpful, do me a favor and drop a 1 in the comments. If you think there's something missing or you've got a specific question you want me to address in a future video, drop a 2 instead. That feedback helps me make better content for all of you. And if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the tips I share for men's health after 60. All right, let's get into it. Let me start with the science, because once you understand what's happening under the hood, the solution makes a whole lot more sense. We've got to talk about testosterone, the most important male hormone in your body. It's responsible for everything from your deeper voice to your muscle mass, your energy, your libido, and yes, your ability to get and maintain an erection. Testosterone peaks in your early 20s, and starting around age 30, it drops by about 1% per year on average. By the time you're past 60, that decline really starts to make itself known. And things like poor sleep, carrying extra weight around the middle, smoking, drinking too much, or chronic conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol speed that decline up considerably. So how does testosterone connect to those spongy chambers in your penis? Picture them as 2 cylinders full of tiny hollow spaces that fill up with blood when you're aroused. On the surface of those spaces are receptors. Think of them as locks, and testosterone is the key. When the key fits, biochemical signals fire off. The smooth muscle relaxes, nitric oxide gets released, blood flows in, and the veins clamp down to keep it there. That's how you get a stable, firm erection. But here's where things go sideways for a lot of men. When sexual activity drops off, or when age and disease pull testosterone down, the structure of that tissue starts changing. Smooth muscle gets gradually replaced by collagen. We call that fibrosis. The more fibrosis builds up, the less elastic the tissue becomes, and the blood that flows in can't be held in place. It leaks back out too fast. Doctors call this venous leak. The result is a penis that doesn't get fully hard or loses the erection too quickly. I'll tell you, in my practice over the years, I've seen so many men in their mid-60s and beyond who tell me, "Doc, everything used to work just fine, but now I lose it after just a few minutes." When I examine them, sure, hormone levels are often low. But the bigger issue is almost always that the erectile tissue itself has lost its elasticity. Why? Because it hasn't been used enough. This confirms that classic medical principle we've all heard 1,000 times. Use it or lose it. What you don't use, you lose. Plain and simple. What that means for you is that your penis needs regular activity. Whether that's through intercourse, healthy self-stimulation, or specific medical exercises I'm about to walk you through. This isn't just about sex, folks. This is about quality of life, dignity, and feeling like the man you've always been, well into your later years. Now let's get to the part you've been waiting for. How do you actually train your penis safely and effectively with science to back it up? Beyond regular sexual activity, there's one tool that's been clinically proven and used in urology clinics across the country for decades. It's called a vacuum erection device, or VED. And yeah, in casual conversation, people call it a penis pump. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Dr. Grace, isn't that one of those things they sell late at night on TV? Let me clear something up. There's a huge difference between novelty pumps you'd find at a gas station and FDA cleared medical grade vacuum erection devices that urologists actually prescribe. When I talk about a VED, I'm talking about the medical grade kind, the type with proper pressure regulation and safety mechanisms built in. I'll be doing a separate video soon walking you through exactly what to look for when you're shopping for one, the specific features that matter, and the red flags to avoid. So make sure you're subscribed so you catch that one. Here's how it works. The device is a clear cylinder that seals against your body at the base of the penis, connected to either a hand pump or a battery-powered pump. By creating negative pressure inside the cylinder, arterial blood gets drawn into the spongy chambers, and the penis fills up completely. This isn't an injury. Think of it as a workout session for the tissue. Oxygen-rich blood floods in, the chambers stretch out, and the tissue stays elastic and resilient over time. Let me walk you through safe use. First, prep matters. Trim any pubic hair at the base so you can get a good airtight seal, and use a water-based lubricant on the rim of the cylinder for comfort and a proper fit. Next, place the penis in the cylinder, press the base firmly against your body, and pump slowly. You're aiming for a firm, comfortable erection, not pain, not bruising. If something hurts, you stop. Period. For duration, hold for 30 to 60 seconds, then release the pressure and rest. Do several cycles back to back, totaling about 10 minutes per session. Frequency, 3 to 5 times a week is the sweet spot. You can do daily short sessions if you prefer, but never go longer than 10 minutes per session. And don't do more than 2 sessions in a single day. A lot of men have this idea that more is better. Let me be real clear with you. That is not the case here. Overtraining causes harm. The smooth muscle and blood vessels in your penis aren't like skeletal muscles. They need gentle, consistent training. Too much pressure leads to bruising, swelling, or vascular damage, and that sets you back, not forward. Let me share a real case from my practice. I had a 68-year-old patient, retired electrician from Ohio, with type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure. He'd been struggling with erectile dysfunction for years. After 3 months of using a VED 4 times a week, plus daily walks around his neighborhood, he came in beaming. He told me, "Doc, I've gotten my confidence back, and the erections are noticeably more stable too." That's what proper application looks like. The VED isn't a gimmick. It's a legitimate therapy tool when used correctly. A couple more safety points. If your doctor recommends it, you can use a constriction ring after the VED session to help maintain the erection during intercourse. But never wear it longer than 30 minutes, and absolutely never wear it while you sleep. That's a hard rule. If you're on blood thinners, or if you have Peyronie's disease, which is that curvature condition some men develop, you've got to talk to your urologist before starting any of this. Don't skip that conversation. Now, I want to address something I see in the comments and hear in my office all the time. Some of you have had prostate surgery, whether for an enlarged prostate, what we call BPH, or for prostate cancer. And you're wondering, does any of this even apply to me? My situation's different. I hear you, and I want you to know that this is a separate conversation that deserves its own video, which I'm working on. But the short answer is yes. Men recovering from prostate surgery actually benefit enormously from VED therapy. In fact, many urologists, myself included, prescribe penile rehabilitation with a VED as part of post-surgery recovery. The mechanics of testosterone change after certain surgeries, but the principle of keeping that tissue oxygenated and elastic still applies. So don't write yourself off. There's a path forward for you too, and I'm going to cover it in detail soon. All right, the VED is a powerful tool, but on its own, it's not enough. To really preserve your potency past 60, you need a holistic lifestyle approach that supports your body and mind together over the long haul. Let me walk you through the 4 pillars I drill into every patient who comes through my door. Pillar number 1 is movement. Regular activity keeps your blood vessels in working order. Just 30 minutes of walking a day improves circulation in your pelvic region and boosts nitric oxide production. If you can layer in 2 or 3 strength training sessions a week, things like squats, push-ups, or some light dumbbell work, you'll naturally bump up your testosterone levels. A landmark Harvard study showed that men who exercise regularly have a 41% lower risk of developing erectile dysfunction. And honestly, you'll just feel better, more energy, better mood, better sleep. It's all connected. Pillar number 2 is nutrition. The right food is fuel for your blood vessels. Leafy greens, beets, and pomegranates deliver nitrates that widen your blood vessels and get the blood moving. Watermelon contains L-citrulline, which has been shown to improve erection quality and circulation. Throw some salmon or sardines on your plate a couple times a week for the omega-3s. At the same time, you've got to cut back hard on the sugar, the fried stuff, and processed meats like deli meats and hot dogs. Those drive inflammation, weight gain, and vascular damage, and they're working against everything you're trying to build. Pillar number 3 is sleep and stress. Without enough rest, your testosterone tanks. Aim for 7 to 8 hours a night. Studies show that men over 60 who sleep well have up to 20% more testosterone than those who don't. And chronic stress jacks up your cortisol, which is a hormone that directly suppresses testosterone. So find ways to wind down, whether that's meditation, breathing exercises, time outdoors, or just a quiet evening routine that signals to your body it's time to rest. Skip the late night TV in bed. Your body and your performance will thank you. Pillar number 4 is dropping the habits that are working against you. Even 1 cigarette a day measurably reduces blood flow to the penis. Excessive alcohol damages your liver and tanks your testosterone. And conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure, those have to be managed consistently because they're the leading drivers of vascular damage and the biggest accelerators of erectile problems. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be honest with yourself about what's holding you back. Let me share another patient story because I know some of you are feeling like you're too far gone. I had a 72-year-old gentleman come into my office, retired, lives down in Florida part of the year. He sat down in my office and said, "Doc, I'm not really a man anymore." That broke my heart because I hear that more than you'd think. 4 months later, after starting vet training, walking every day with his wife, eating more vegetables, quitting smoking, and getting his sleep back on track, he came in looking like a different person, 6 pounds lighter, blood pressure under control, and his erections were noticeably stronger. He told me, "Grace, I feel 10 years younger. I've got my life back." That's what's possible. And speaking of that, I want to talk directly to those of you watching who are 70, 75, even 80 and thinking, "It's too late for me, the ship has sailed." I want you to hear me clearly. It is not too late. Age is one factor, sure, but it's not the deciding factor. I've worked with men in their late 70s who saw real, meaningful improvements within months of making changes. Your body still responds, your tissue still adapts. The biology doesn't suddenly shut off because you hit a certain birthday. What matters is starting and being consistent. That's it. Don't let anyone, including the voice in your own head, convince you that your best years are behind you. Here's what you can realistically expect if you commit to this. In the first week, you'll notice you're paying more attention to your body, becoming more aware of what's going on. By the end of the first month, with consistent VID use and lifestyle changes, most men report improved morning erections and better baseline circulation. Around the 3-month mark, that's typically when patients tell me they're seeing real measurable improvements in firmness and stamina. By 6 months, for the men who stick with it, the changes can be dramatic, but the key word there is consistency. This isn't a quick fix, it's a rebuild. So let's pull it all together. Your penis works like a muscle. If you don't use it and train it regularly, it loses strength and elasticity. But with the right knowledge, the proper use of a medical-grade vacuum device, and a healthy lifestyle, you can actively turn things around. You're not just preserving your erections. You're preserving your confidence, your intimacy with your partner, and your quality of life, well past 60, well past 70, and beyond. For my 2+ decades as a urologist, I can promise you this, it is never too late to start. The men who make small, consistent changes don't just report better erections. They tell me they feel more energetic, more emotionally stable, and more engaged with life overall. That's the real win here. Erections are a piece of it, but the bigger picture is reclaiming the version of yourself you thought you'd lost. Now, I want to hear from you. Of the 4 lifestyle pillars I covered, movement, nutrition, sleep, and stress, and breaking unhealthy habits, which one do you find the hardest to stick with? Drop your answer in the comments. Your honest feedback helps me create content that actually addresses what you're struggling with, not just generic advice. And if you've got a specific situation like recovery from prostate surgery, managing ED with diabetes, or questions about choosing a VED, let me know in the comments and I'll prioritize those topics for upcoming videos. If this video helped you, drop a 1 in the comments so I know to keep this style of content coming. If you think something was missing, drop a 2 with what you'd like me to cover. And if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe so you don't miss the videos coming up on prostate surgery recovery, choosing the right VED, and managing erectile health with chronic conditions. Thanks so much for watching today, everyone. Stay healthy, stay strong, and stay confident. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.